Welcome to another edition of Inspired Discussions. They call me Sibley. Serving people is who I am, is what I do. I'm with my co-hosts.
Remy, realizing energy made me. Dang, even that feels different saying that now. Oh shit! Okay, what? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Even saying that was like, yo, uh,
I was thinking
huh,
of that when we was talking, when you was talking too. I'm like, he trying to play off the name a little bit?
bro.
But
I wasn't even thinking about that. Like for real. I really wasn't. I really wasn't.
yeah,
I'm
but
sitting here. Mm.
you gonna be able to get back onto that, I'm sure, in our discussion today. Most definitely.
I think so.
Because everybody we like what we did last week with the little beginning therapy session with the releasing of whatever it may be for that week. So we're gonna bring that back and we're gonna do that every week. And also
Yeah.
what I thought about too is to open it up to our listeners. Y'all can email us throughout the week at inspired.discussions@gmail.com. And if you want something, if you want us to talk about something, or you got a topic that you want us to touch on and you want to interact with us in that way, and we read it when we you know
Right. When we
record.
go through our stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the first step to being live with y'all. That's the first step to being live. And start doing a
Oh
little
yeah.
interaction.
And
Uh,
with that,
so that brings me into what I want to talk about. Not only during therapy session, but we about to make this the topic today because it's just everything that's going on in America right now, outside of COVID and whatnot. It is something as necessary since the word racist was mentioned in in this statement. We're gonna make this podcast about it today because I got the platform, I got the time, and we about to
okay,
we about to
okay,
have fun. So I was on the property. But okay, first let me preface this. When I say property, everybody, I mean a 9 to 5. Because I work on not calling it a 9 to 5 and just calling it one of my properties. So I call it property and I don't say 9 to 5. It's all about a mental thing for me. So when you hear me
right.
property, always mean 9 to 5. So just just so you won't be off and just to catch you up with my terminology and my language. So backstory, a little bit of backstory because it's necessary for this.
Mm.
Everybody know what's going on with the coronavirus, with the schools being shut down earlier in a year, blah blah blah.
Right.
Uh, the government passed the bill, and and one of the things in that bill was if you had a kid that was in daycare or school, you could take up to 12 weeks off, and they had to pay you 2/3 of your pay. The employer or whatnot. So,
Right.
me being me, I took advantage of it because that's the type of stuff I do. You know,
Okay.
my family always come first. The betterment of my family always come first. So I had an opportunity, like be home with my baby for 6 weeks. So I took it. I came back though and basically got stripped uh all of my duties. Like anything that I did before I went on to the league, I
Yeah.
don't do now. Like they put me in the basements,
What?
painting helping painting the basement floors. With me, as far as I started from the bottom. So, with me doing that, it's like you can't take away my knowledge and my skill set. So shoot, I'm still making the same. So it's like
Facts.
I ain't, I ain't, whatever, like,
Right,
whatever.
right.
Got to worry about getting stung by bees, because I'm crazy allergic. I don't have to be out in that sun, all day, sweating. So I'm in the basements. It actually worked out better for me because that's where I do a lot of game planning for the podcast and just overall vision. Now, I do it down there because I don't have, I don't have to worry about, tailoring to certain tenants and, staying up on jobs. So, it actually worked out for me. And
Yeah.
they actually, by law, like they can't do what they doing. Like if I wanted to fight it, I could have all my duties back. Everything I did before leave, I can have it back like that. I know I can, but I don't want it because, like I say, I'm in a better position because I can come in and I'm more free to game plan other things or whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's this it's this paranoia that's going around. Okay, so I'm in the basement because I got to make sure I'm giving enough backstory. So when I get to what like really was said and why it was said, you will have enough for it, and you be like, okay. So I'm in the basement, and it's this, the workplace politics. People make up stuff, they lie, and draw their own conclusions. You know
Yeah.
how Caucasians are, and people. Yeah, and I'm gonna say it. We using those type of words today. I told you, I got the time today. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm about to make this whole podcast about them.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
so
Or
no, but for good reason though. You gonna see where I'm going with it.
okay.
So they made up this, story. Andre taking all the trash, throwing it in the storages, and not taking it outside, put it in a dumpster. Blah blah blah. I'm not tripping on it because I'm like, I've been around this 7 years. I know y'all been lying. Whatever. Blah. Y'all ain't gonna step to me and say that bullshit. So it's whatever. So
Right.
I'm in one of the basements or whatnot, and I see, oh yeah, this about to be a good one. Remember that frequency I was just telling you I needed to get back to a vibration? I'm feeling it now.
Yeah.
Um,
Gotcha.
so I was in one of the basements and I was in the other wing. I went over to the other wing and I see this pile of trash in the middle of the floor. And I'm like, I instantly get heated. I'm like, I know they ain't going around pulling all this trash out and expecting me to pull it up. I'm like, whoever doing this need to do it. So I stopped everything. I started walking back up the front. I was about to go up front and be like, or go back to the back and be like, hey, look, blah blah blah. Whoever did this, but on my way, I noticed my brother was in another one of the units, so I stopped in there and I grabbed the radio and I got on the radio. I was like, look, whoever doing this shit, they need to go and well, basically to keep it short, they need to put it up out the bed, pull them up out the basements because I ain't nobody fucking flunky. And I said those end of the that end, it was those the exact words that I said because I'm like, nah, y'all not about to do this shit because y'all only doing this shit because I don't ever say nothing, because I just be chilling. Like if they don't say nothing to me, I don't be worried about it because anything else is just like it's comical to me.
Mm.
So that was that. So the next day, I came to work the next day. Why she put they put two different crews to go get everything out the basements, and I know that's not how it was about to go down. I already know because the whole crew never do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They expected me to go and pull that shit up. That as I was going around, you know what I mean? Like I know that wasn't the case. So okay, now we starting to get into what I want to talk about and the comment that was made because it was so unbelievable.
Okay.
So it was said that I'm looking for any type of situation to turn into a racial situation so I can sue and get rich because that's the only way I ever become rich.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's what was said about you?
absolutely. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make any situation turn it into a racial situation so I can get rich. Wait, because that's the only way I will ever become rich.
Okay, right.
For one, it's funny because, like, if you know me, you know, like, you just know. Like, that's why it's so
Right.
funny. But I wanted to talk about it because I'm like, the irony of that, like, is that statement in itself not racist?
Mm.
It,
Is
it,
that how you felt about it? Is that what did
no,
it
I
pull up out of
mean,
you when you heard it?
gut. Like, I just started know how I felt about it. I laughed at it and thought it was fucking comical. But the more like I thought about it, I was like, shit, is that not a racist comment in itself? That's why I wanted to bring it to the podcast because I'm like, help me, like, because that statement sound a little bit discriminatory if you ask me because
I mean, yeah.
just because by me being black, just
Right.
help me, man. Like help me. Am I am I like overthinking this one because of the times, but or it got some I guess some validation to.
I mean, okay, so to answer, is that a racist comment or statement? I can see how it can be insinuated as one for sure. And this was on the job,
Yeah,
right?
discussing it with somebody else, of course not to me. Like that
Right, right.
that's why I'm thinking I'm like, for one, they don't say too much of nothing to me. And now I
I'm
see why, because I think that's what I'm trying to do. And the reason why I feel like it's the racist comment and that's the energy of it is because why are you so afraid of it? You must be doing the shit. You must feel guilty. I feel like it's guilt. Like I feel like it's real. I feel like it's really guilt because I'm telling you, the interaction they don't have no type of interaction with me. None. Don't say shit to me. So that's how I know it's like you feel basically you said how you feel like that's I'm trying to make every situation into that. But why?
right.
You doing the shit if that's the case.
All right.
Because
All
that
right.
ain't
So,
never been my character. I never cried black. I never
right.
cried black. Like I never do
Right.
that. And I never would unless it's necessary. And I'm trying to figure out, is it necessary in this situation? Because I'm like, dude.
Okay. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no only because I believe with the environment and everything that's going on right now, a lot of people, well, damn near everybody, is very sensitive. I would say overly sensitive, but for most, especially on our side of the fence, that is deserved, of course. But everybody is hypersensitive to the racial things that are going on right now. So even for somebody to make that statement initially, I don't see it as a racial statement, but I can definitely see it as an initial reaction to how they is perceiving everything else that's going on around them, especially within whatever race they are.
But and that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like it's racist, because it's like Andre's black, so he's trying to cry black so he can get a lawsuit and become rich because he's black. Like, so I get what you're saying. I do, but I feel
Right.
I still feel that way about it because
I don't think there's a wrong or a right to that answer though.
because of the climate. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Right.
he black, and you know what black people doing right now? They crying everything against us. It's like a us against them thing in there, and that's racial. This,
Right. Right. Yeah. That's the other side of it. They're definitely saying that with the reaction to what's going on in the environment and everything that we're living through right now. So even though that may come across, even though them being able to make that statement, to some people, it can be looked at as a defense mechanism just because of how they feel about what's going on around them in their world. But yet they're aware of the fact that any alteration within that said statement, without it being said like that, can definitely be 100%, racist.
right.
So I can't say that it is, and I can't say that it's not at the same time, but they are definitely aware of the racial things that's going on. So I can see why you see it like that. But then if you was to alter the environment that we're living in now, we know that racism has always been here. We know that it's been something that we've always dealt with, period, throughout life. But if it wasn't on the scale that it is on right now, could that statement hold any weight one way or the other?
I you know I get that, but even then, because this time last year, the same type of accusations it was made against me. It was just turned into it was just it was just said a little different. So and I
Because even that
actually
statement, I can see it as a like a cry for help at the same time, because I can say that person being able to say that, like I said, they're aware of the environment, but they could also be racially unaware of everything else, and that's like their way of, I'm scared, but I don't know how to respond.
oh, I ain't buying that shit. I know, no. I don't buy that. There ain't no damn cry for help. No goddamn. A cry for help is Andre educate me on the environment right now. Like that's a cry for help.
But can
Act,
you see a racist doing that though? That's the thing.
that's the thing. That's the thing, though. Like, no, no.
I'm just saying.
But
You you know somebody's
that's the
racist.
only acceptable form of cry for help that I'm gonna get. Nah, see now we starting to clash in thoughts, because maybe because it's a little bit more personal too, though. So
Right, right, right,
I gotta kind of
right.
deep that a little bit. But what I was saying though, you said you kept mentioning about like the climate that we in,
Yeah,
last around this time. Well, I guess the climate had been like this the last 4 years, with the current government structure, and people really feeling like they got the time to really show their true selves. It just
right,
increased out with the media exposure and everything, with the protest and all the
right, right,
all the
right,
killings, and the cops still haven't been arrested for the killing of Breonna Taylor, and the
right.
George Floyd case.
Now, now,
My man, the Jacob Blake. I'm trying to remember how I love him, because I be paying attention to the stuff, but I tried not to consume myself with it too much. But I was like, this week I'm like, we're gonna talk about it because
Right.
this the situation is it's real. And because I think actually we actually touched on it a little bit. I think early on. I think the get out your feelings one. I think we touched on it a little bit.
Might. I don't remember what that was, but we might.
But
Another
like
example.
you said, what was you about to say?
Another example that I just thought about. Like if I came across somebody, I know for a fact they racist. Period. 100%. I know they're racist. And let's just say I'm in a diner or whatever, and I'm right next to racist dude or whatever, and let's just say he do something small, like maybe reach over my plate and grab something, and then I look at him and he look at me, and he realizes the fact of what he did, and his response or his first statement is, you know what, I'm gonna move down another stool because if I say the wrong thing, I already know how y'all gonna respond. And that statement alone is a racial statement, but I can't see it as a racist statement. I can see it as I'm not gonna say anything racist to you, so I'm gonna just, keep my distance, or I'm gonna do what I need to do to maintain this scenario, this situation. And I can see that as like I don't want to say a cry for help, but him being able to say that, I don't feel I don't feel attacked. I don't feel like I have to defend myself for anything. He's acknowledging what's going on within the world because, our own lives and who we are as people, two different races and whatnot. That can trigger a conversation between me and him just because of the way that he said it to me.
I would buy that being a cry for help. That situation that you just gave right there, like, cause now you aware, you you showing empathy at that point. You know what I mean? You showing empathy. You like, I don't want to offend this, or I don't. What I say might offend them, so I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I
say
know
what.
y'all gonna respond a certain way if I say something. Now,
That
most people that hear that, y'all got to get out of
man,
here. We
I ain't,
thinking like
I ain't even gonna,
niggas.
I ain't, I ain't gonna hold you up. Well, you keep saying y'all, and it's kind of flipping something inside of
See,
me. Like,
see,
the fuck you
right? But
mean,
he
y'all?
didn't call you a nigger. He said y'all. So it's like it's not racist, it's racial, and that can open up dialogue. That's kind of the same thing how I'm looking at it from your situation as well. But like you said, it's more personal for you because you went through it, so you may have other
And
interactions
that's
and
the thing,
altercations.
though. I don't believe it's to open up a dialogue. I think it's really, a self-reflection of how you feel about yourself, and or that you know that you didn't have done some questionable things, or people that you have condoned or that you back have done some questionable things, and
Yeah, I can see that.
and you fear that, and you fear it, and you fear it. Like that's this case, and I'm I'm 100% sure that's this that's this
What?
that,
Let me ask you this then. With everything that you just said, then why not create dialogue built off of that?
absolutely not. Absolutely not, because these baby boomers are baby boomers. It's like trying to it's like trying to um yeah, it's like trying to tell a Christian some new age beliefs. It's just a door. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because my personal life get talked about enough, and that's a whole nother other situation. But with that's off topic. We ain't even gonna get on to that. Because if they wanted to create that dialogue, they could. You know what I mean? And they can just preface it. You know how they like to do. Not the sound. I don't want you to get offended. They can preface it like that, and then
You
I
know
would.
they saying y'all. You know they saying y'all. Period. They saying y'all. Period. Y'all is coming out of their mouth one way or another, bro. And in their head, they respecting it because they didn't call you the ER.
I guess. I
I mean, I'm,
guess.
I'm not covering. I'm not covering for them. That's for sure. I'm just trying to
Oh
get
yeah,
a.
no, I'm just saying. I guess. I guess, but it's yeah. I just know you can't change baby boomers, man. They are who they are. Like, cause, and then even the rich statement, that's I feel like it was so funny because
Now that part, yeah, that part funny.
my frequency, and I'm like, uh,
This nigga don't even know.
you real funny, and that's just a self
Man,
reflection in itself right there because you've been what you've been your whole life, and you seen where you was at my age, and you see where you at now, and you project my next 30 years to be like yours, and that's not the case.
I mean, this nigga here,
it's
boy.
it's it's a, it's a self-reflection, man. Like people be trying to put their insecurities and like their struggle, their life struggles on you. I know that's what it was, and it wasn't even die. That's why I'm not really like getting worked up on it too much, but I
Right,
did want to bring it to the podcast because once like because I said my first initial I laughed because all I thought about was just the rich and never being rich. It was like that's funny. That is funny as shit.
right.
But then I thought about it deeper. I'm like, damn, is that not a racist comment in itself right there? So I'm like, sure, I'm just gonna bring it to the podcast. It's gonna be therapy session and maybe the podcast for the week because I'm like, hmm. Cause but don't I'm not you know losing sleep over it by far, but
Right.
it's something that I did just wanted to release. I'll never think about it again. Probably after
Well,
this.
I mean, let me ask this then. With somebody that you know is racist, period, and you feeling like they're not going to change, period. They born and raised up under that household or structure, whatever you want to call it. Creating or bringing open dialogue about race with a racist, does it not mean anything? Because the way I'm looking at it is if I was to do that, and I already got that mindset or the thinking of they were born and raised up under this, nothing I say is going to matter. I'm acknowledging the past because that's something that they're raised up under. But I think I can bring value to the now. Period. What they do with it, I mean, that's also out of my control. But I can still bring value to the now, and with that, I'll be just fine, and still walk away from the scenario thinking that person's a complete racist. I'm not thinking about, oh yeah, I just made a change. I just created a thought for him to live off of, build off of, think off of. It was me bringing the opportunity, me having the opportunity to bring value to the now while recognizing and accepting the past of who they are, even though the past is the now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I feel you being super humane, and I'm just not there because, like I said, it's it's
So you like F it. I'm not wasting my time with it. I already know how this gonna go. Get out my face.
I'm not I'm not because I just know they are who they are because I can like this not the first situation where it was like, you know what you how you sound is like, but a lot of it sound like envy. At times it sounds like envy because
It can be perceived that way, yeah.
of certain comments that be made. But then I don't even really like to get into. I don't even really like speaking on that because then that's just flipping the. That's just flipping it and making us more superior, making us superior to them. And I don't like when our community do that because I'm like, what good is that doing? Saying that black people is the first people this and we the more dominant race. That's why we was oppressed. Okay, look at it say. If we saying that's the case, okay, if you feel that way, what good does it do to be like just flip it? Because then at that point now we oppressing white people because we feel they inferior to us, and then like we it's
No,
hypocritical.
no.
So
I agree
we
with that. For those who believe that, definitely. That means you're just as racist
I used
as.
to be like that. I used to be like that, where I was like, "Oh, we superior to them. That's why they oppress us." And maybe if that is the case, yes, even if that's the case, because I do really believe like you don't you don't systematically put up a system in place to oppress a certain particular set of people without those people being able to be, having something special about them, you know. And maybe,
Right,
that's not the case, but that's just where my belief at is. And with that, you don't do that for no reason. So
right. Okay, now, okay. Two things then with what you just said for those who also believe that we're a superior race to them, that equals you're just as racist as they are, whoever
absolutely.
they is.
Absolutely.
Second, oh damn, I just had it. What was the last statement you just said?
Um,
Oh, fuck. I knew I should have said that first.
um, damn. What was the last?
Oh, you were saying in order for them if to put that system into play, they're
Oh,
recognizing
yeah,
that it is something special about that particular race to have this whole system and structure set up the way it has. I understand that and I can respect that. On my end, I believe it is fearing the unknown because of that. I think with having a mindset that is racist, you're not only feeling that you're superior, but you're also fearing what you don't know amongst other people.
I buy that too because you saying like if we don't impress them, they may rise to blah 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 this and
Yeah,
overtake
yeah. Like
us.
you're playing tricks and building off of ideas and beliefs within your own mind because of you living under the structure as a racist. You've already caged your mindset one way. So thinking outside of that cage or observing outside of that cage is like I don't know what may happen. I don't know who this and how this may happen or whatever it may be. So let's build this around this cage, and that way my cage is forever yet a cage that I can live into. You're fearing the unknown the entire time. That's why I also said with him making that statement with you at work, that's why I looked at it as that as well. Unless, like I said, you the one went through it, you the one that had the experience. If you definitely had an encounter where it was like, I know for a fact that's racist, then okay, hey, I don't need to try to understand your scenario anymore. But if that's not the case, that's why I can look at it as fearing the unknown, even though I said it was them just being crying out for help or whatever, but it's just fearing the unknown in a way.
Yeah, I get it, and I didn't know if the statement, I know other statements that have been said that was where I was, like I say, I was on the fence about how I should really feel about the statement. So I'm like, shoot, that's what I got the podcast for. So I'm gonna get it out there.
Right, right.
Uh, so yeah, that's and I feel better. Well, I ain't gonna say because I didn't feel a certain type of way about it before, like, but I feel, I guess, I don't know the right words to say, but I'm good because I was always good because like I say, the statement was comical from the start because it's like you just mad. Let me stop. But yeah.
Okay, now, okay, all right. I don't care. I'm just gonna go for it here. All right. So with all of that, with everything that you just said, your story, your backstory, the moment that you had at work, knowing the thought of having that. Okay, this is what I can bring to the podcast. Those all those events in what is it, sequential order, in the proper order they were created and acted upon. I'm going back to how I was talking before before we was really going on to this. And it's like, yo, with me thinking like this more often, it's like, all right, so if I'm going to believe that even with that statement that came out of that person's mouth, if I'm going to believe that is also me at the same time, do you get can I really get a better understanding of that's me being racist, that's me being fearful or whatnot? And I couldn't really get an answer to that because I started thinking I can't think like that because that's not me per se. But I was like, all right, if I stay upon the track of all right, that is me, then the thing that I can find within that is the fact that it brought value to this moment right now as well. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You just
I know it's like a drawn out way of just saying everything happened for a reason, but I'm really just building off of how I'm thinking about things now. If I'm really going to believe that I am that person, I am you, I am them, they are me, etc., etc. So even when I go to think about people who are doing shitty things, what I consider to be shitty things in the world, no matter what it may be, no matter on what level, have we said multiple times in several episodes of our podcast, we've always found value within our conversation, no matter what it was that we were talking about.
right, right.
So I don't feel, I don't want to say I don't feel any remorse or guilt if I'm going to believe that I'm also the person that is a shitty, what I consider to be a shitty person, you know, in life at the same time. It just brings a whole nother level of emotion and understanding behind it all. I know that was all over the place, but I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I like I say, you not completely losing me with the that is me because at a real like deep, you know what I'm saying, metaphysics, universal understanding. It's like, yeah,
Right. I mean, I don't want it to come across as if I'm saying believe this 100%, like believe this. No, I'm saying that into if we was to think that way, the understanding that it believes, no, the understanding that it brings and the emotion that it brings behind if we was to believe that is eye-opening and just it just feels different. That's all it is. Like if I was to really believe that, that's all of that was. I'm not saying believe that for sure. It's up to you if you know, you want to believe that or not. But if you was, you'll start getting the emotions and the thoughts of how you perceive other people at the same time if you're going to accept the fact that it is also you, good and bad. It just feels different.
Yeah, like I say, I get where you saying coming from at a deep metaphysical. We all connected and just one big source of energy standpoint. But at the same time, it's like, nah, that's them because that's them. I get you. I
Right.
get it, bro. I I get it. I just yeah.
Remember that statement I posted on Facebook. Damn, turn it down. Remember that statement I posted on Facebook a while back? It was something like if you was to dream or believe in your future success, then you are already living within the now and it has already happened. I think it was something like that. Cause I remember you liking it and then you had like the little thinking emoji.
Yeah, most definitely because that's the Dr. Joe Dispenza that always with the future self and the familiar self.
Oh, that's where
That
that's from?
yeah, that's from Joe Dispenza. That's what he talk about. Living in your future self in this present moment now because your brain don't know the difference from an experience that you creating in your mind and an experience that you're having that you actually having physically. So when you create them in your mind, that's how you manifest. It's one of the ways that you manifest. Yeah, Dr. Joe Dispenza, man, I didn't mention them like 3 or 4 times. Let's get on
You
them,
probably
man.
have. You probably
Yeah,
have. I never I never I never broke it down like that. But that's what that was as well. That statement is kind of like a tag team on what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to explain at the same time. I've already succeeded by knowing that like I acknowledge the fact that it has already happened.
you familiar with the placebo effect and what the placebo effect is, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, he got a book called "You Are the Placebo." It's if it's any book you probably should. It's
That
probably
title right there, I like that title.
it's probably the first Dispenza book that you should start off with because like I kind of went backwards from like his middle book and then I got his newest one and then I went to the first one. But the "You Are the Placebo" one is probably that first book to really Oh, and plus he got countless number of videos. I got a doctor's degree in YouTube University, so I'm all on YouTube when it's coming to stuff like that. Yeah, but
Right.
that's all Dispenza, all about living in as the future you now in this present moment, you know, and it just goes to what I was saying before, we really got into what we was talking about. See, now we 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 topic shifting now a little bit.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
about changing those habits and because those habits right now that I have are too familiar me and not the future me. You can't get yourself out of something the same way you behave yourself into it. You got to change your behaviors and change
Yeah.
your habits. And then as you create new habits and change your habits, then that's when your life start to change and you start to see different results. What's the quote? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different
Right.
results.
Right.
you gotta change the way going about the day, and like if I'm claiming this billionaire frequency, I gotta think, make decisions like billionaires make decisions. So
Facts. Facts. So now you already said it earlier when I had asked why it took uh, someone else to break it down or say it a certain way for you to act on your own thought that you probably already had in the first place. How would that also come across if it was somebody you knew? Would it still come across the same?
I think so. I think so because when I was saying with the Nip situation, with me hearing it from Nip, like I wasn't. I was like a late bloomer when it came to being exposed to Nip. Like I actually Shaq had put me on the Nip, and then I started listening to him, and then for some reason I didn't listen to him no more. And then he passed, and then I went heavy on Nip, and I'm like, damn, Nip was like about everything that I was about, especially with his all money in, no money out. Like that was my whole vision. How I was when I was sitting people down. That's how I was breaking it down to him. I'm like, look, we're gonna create this capital and we're gonna keep all the money in here with us, and like ain't nothing coming out really. That was really, that's without even me not even being on that Nip frequency. That's why I gravitated to him so much, because I'm like, shoot, the structure that he built and the independence was like the same independence I wanted to build over here in just the overall financial lane. So
Right.
it was I had that connection. So when I heard that, like it was all then all the same he transitioned in the same year my dad, and then it's just like just all of that connection. So it's like I don't know Nip, but I know Nip. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Right. Right.
I feel like it'd have been the same. Just my revelations, our revelations on this podcast. Like we don't know who that's helping. You
No,
know,
that's real. That's
even
real.
with me just saying changing those habits and whatnot, somebody may listen to that. I done said that plenty of times, but I never articulated it that way before. So they may, oh, I get it now. They may need that third, fourth time. That's what I'm starting just to learn, man. Just to that's why like I really wanted to stress like I really wasn't tripping like on the racist, quote unquote, you know, comment, or I just wanted to like just get it out there and just really, get get another perspective of it, really, to be quite honest. Because
Right.
like I already get that either people make steps to change or they just remain who they are and that's the way they die. So it's only you only go two ways. So I don't get evolved too much. I don't get engaged too much into that, trying to change other people, because you just can't, because they change on their own time if they ever do.
Right.
So
So that connection that you said you have with Nip after being introduced to him and then listening to his music or whatnot. Now that the same like this is just a comparison. Is that the same the connection you have for Nip? Is that the same thing you would have for like the connection with your favorite song? Period. When you hear it, it just hits you a different way. Is that the same like kind of comparison connection you have? Where it's like I rock with this no matter what.
what you mean exactly?
Like if you was to think of two different songs, think of like a song that you really love and you hear the first 3 seconds of that song, it hits you differently, period. And then you hear another song that you like, it's probably gonna take a good 60 seconds before you really, vibe out to it. But that one song that hit you in the first 3 seconds, and you can rock out, think differently, just feel good about it. That's the comparison that I'm trying to make right now.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like it's really anything that's channeling that boss in me. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like that boss in me. Because with Nip, it's hustle and motivate. And that's the reason why I love Jay Z so much. Because that's all he talk about is boss talk. Like it's just boss talk. He talk about being on that level. So yeah, it's a lot of songs that do that. Drake got a few of them too, where they hear them like, oh yeah, I'm about to get in that boss mode.
right, right, right. Now, with those songs that you can rock out to no matter what, let's say you try and believe you made those songs, and now you realizing the fact, nigga, I made that song and it hit like this.
Okay, so where you going with it? Like, yeah, where you going?
Does that does that bring a greater appreciation for that individual, or no? If you was to believe that was you created that, you put that energy out there, and it hit like that, and you like, this song is me.
I think that's why we could. Okay, now I'm starting to see where you going a little bit more. You starting to catch that you getting better. Your examples getting better. That's growth. That's growth. Yeah, but and I think that's how we connect to music just in general. We have that connection where, because like I say, that's why I'm a J fan, because a lot of those songs, like, oh yeah, I feel like, how when you rap into a song, you feel like, I think that's why you probably got so many damn rappers, because it's so much shit. You know what I'm saying? You vibe into the song, you feel like you can do
Right,
music too. So
right, right,
it's
right,
such a hit, like and you connect with it so well. You feel like, shoot, if I had this beat, shoot, I probably would have came up with this too. So
right, right.
yeah, I get that. I get that, no doubt.
Yeah, and that make me think about the people that watch our videos or whatnot. If I'm gonna stay in that mindset of I am everybody, the people that's watching our videos, those are also me as well, in different lives or whatnot. And even though I'm talking through the video across the world, whoever can see it or hear it, it's bringing value both ways in our in my life, quote unquote my life, on the other side of the camera and in front of this one. And just knowing that whatever that value is going to bring to individual and an individual's life that I would have never expected or admired or appreciated in any other way, that's when I go back to that statement of believing or acknowledging my success has already happened within the now. So it's like, no matter what I'm looking at, closed doors, whatever it is, doesn't even matter. You would think about who created it, why did they create it? But if you was to switch that and say, I created it, why did I create it? And really attach an emotion or understanding to it, you look at that individual in a totally different light.
Yeah,
And at the
like
same,
you on some next level metaphysics stuff because you kind of saying like I'm living this present moment, but at this at this
same,
time right now in time on a different plane is the future me, and then on this other plane it's like I get what you said. You on some next, you on some next.
but
You had a
the difference,
revelation type week because you on some next
the
level.
you right, but wrong at the same time. I'm not applying future or past at all. It's now, period. The same example that you just said. I'm doing this now, and I'm also representing this person in the future or whatever. No, no, no. This person now as well. The values that I'm bringing on this side is also being transmitted on this side in ways that I wouldn't live on this side. And that brings it gives me a greater appreciation for me as a person. It's no longer a greater appreciation for us as human beings. It's a greater appreciation for me in acknowledging that fact.
Yeah, I get you. You on some next level shit today, boy. Yeah, I get you there.
Bro, I'm man, bro. Man. If I could really just show you it, oh my god, bro. Man. All I can say is, nigga, that was the best dream of my life. Like for real. For real. So even like before starting the podcast, I was sitting here thinking about that, and I'm like, I would never really, I have never really sat back and focused on business or thought of doing a podcast in this form or whatnot, just because of how I perceive things and the way I think of things on this side of the scale. But then, like I said, even though at the beginning it sounded crazy, I'm looking at Sibley, but it's like if I'm acknowledging Sibley as me, I also gain a greater appreciation and understanding for Sibley, because I didn't have the life that you have. I don't have the moments that you have. I don't have the understandings that you have, et cetera, et cetera. Now it's no longer I love and I rock with my brother. It's even greater to the extent of I appreciate me for being able to go through and understand and accept the energy and analyze all this other stuff within myself that I'm not doing on this side. But
I
just
get
because I'm not doing it on this side, that's not a fault to say that it's wrong or that I should be, because at the same time it is happening and I am doing this on the other side. It's
yeah,
not a loss.
I
That's all.
I get you. That was one of those white light type dreams you had.
And if I could show it, bro, if I could show it.
This was a good episode. Um, we're gonna stop right there. I think we covered a lot today. These episodes getting more authentic as they go on, boy. They getting more authentic. Um,
Right. I know everybody gonna be looking at this and be like, movie crazy. But you know what? I don't even feel a way about that, bro. Like, that's crazy. I don't even feel a way about that because I will still be thinking I'm acknowledging the fact of what I'm bringing within my own life in a different way and the perception that I have of what I'm saying right now. wow, bro.
I hear you, and we're gonna leave our audience with that right there because we had Remy PhD today, uh, Doctor Remy today. He was
Man, if
Doctor.
I could show it, Lord Jesus, if I could show it, boy.
So we appreciate y'all tuning in. Remember, if you want us to um, discuss the topic, during the therapy session portion of the podcast. And today's was more so the therapy session portion was the podcast for the majority of you. Email us at inspired.discussions@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
We'll interact with you throughout the week. And we're going to start bringing people on in a couple more weeks.
What?
But this episode 10, yeah, I think I said I wanted to get two more. So by episode 13, expect us to have our first guest. Um, yeah, man. If you ain't got nothing, man, that's it for the week.
No, the only thing I got. The only thing I got, like, period. Just just try to imagine. Just go through one day after seeing this. Today, after you done watching this video, continue your day, but look at everybody else outside of you as still you. Not on a religious background or nothing like that. Look at them as if it's literally a copy of you. And the appreciation you gain for somebody else is, it just feels different. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, love y'all. See y'all next week. Let's create.
Let's create.